Hello fellow YouTubers and welcome. Today I'm looking at the Jutland. This is a ship request made by one of my viewers and I thought I'd have a look at the old girl and see how she is in 2025. She is essentially a SOM. I do have videos on my channel about the SOM. The only difference between these two ships is the exotic turret arrangement. As you can see on the SOM, she gets these extra AAA turrets, or guns if you like, on top, which basically improve the AA defense by a little bit. So she's got stronger AA, but let's not get carried away. She's got a value of 55 as opposed to a value of 52. And everything else about her is identical in every way to the Jutland. Okay, so armor layout on the Jutland, pretty standard really. This 19mm armor, 13mm plating. Hit points 22,650, but she is a tier 9 destroyer, so bear that in mind. She gets these guns similar to the lightning guns, basically 113mm HE and SAP. Okay, SAP does 2,100, the HE does 1,700. The fire chance is 9% on the HE. Shell projectile times are relatively slow, so they're fun to aim at distances of 10 kilometers or more, but under 10 kilometers they're quite easy to aim actually. They're not the worst guns, they're pretty good, pretty solid guns. Okay, torpedoes wise, she gets these double launchers, 2.5, so that's 10 torpedoes she can put in the water at any one time in spreads of 5. And let's have a look. Reload time isn't that great, 133 seconds. She is a hybrid, however. She's a mix of gunboat and torpedo boat. She's got a range of 10 kilometers on those, and they do 15,533 damage and go 62 knots with a detectability of 1.3 kilometers. Depth charges, nothing much to write home about. They do a lot of damage, but you've got to be over a sub to use them. AA defense slightly lower than the SOM, but not by much. Reasonable average on the AA, but I wouldn't rely on it. Maneuverability wise, she does 35.7 knots. She gets there quite fast because she's a Royal Navy destroyer. They all have improved acceleration on their engines, so they don't need modding for that. She's got a 610 meter turn radius and a rudder shift of 30. A rudder shift of 3.4 seconds, okay, which is very competitive. Her detectability is very good too, 5.7 kilometers, which allows her to contest caps. Talking of which, she's given these short puff smokes to contest caps with. Okay, they last for about 40 seconds and have an action time of 11 seconds and a cooldown of 66. And then you get the hydro, which almost 4 minutes of hydro. Okay, 3.5 minutes of hydro. Pretty sweet duration. Only 3 kilometer range, but it's enough to warn you about torpedoes heading towards your smoke, your ship, and with a 3 kilometer detect on surface ships. Okay, and then of course you get heals. Very useful to have a couple of heals in your back pocket. Okay, and you can see with equipment I've gone with main armaments modification 1 in slot 1. Then I went with hydroacoustic search in slot 2. This increases the already pretty strong duration of the hydro by a further 20%. If you haven't got the coal, engine room protection is your friend, so take that one instead. Third slot, she is a gunboat, but she also has torpedoes. She's a hybrid, so I took aiming system modification 1 because I feel her guns bring more to the table than her torpedoes do. Okay, so that's slot 3 picked, and then slot 4. She doesn't get the acceleration mod, so instead, because she already has that built in, because she's a Royal Navy destroyer, so she gets steering gear modification 1 seems to be the best pick here. And for the main reason being that we get this really good rudder shift of 3.4 seconds, which makes it even easier to dodge incoming torpedoes that you've spotted with your hydro, even the ones you haven't. Okay, and then in the 5th slot we have concealment system modification 1 to bring her concealment down to 5.7 kilometers with this captain build. And then finally we want those guns to fire as fast as possible, so we've gone with main battery modification 3, which improves the reload time by 12%. but reduces the turret traverse by 13%. A turret traverse is 10.3 seconds for 180 degree turn time, which is actually not that much of a problem, especially if you're running RPF, because you've got a pretty good idea of where the enemy ships are. And this is my classic competitive or ranked build. I've still got another 4 points to spend on this captain, so I probably finish the build with main battery and AA specialist, and then the last point into consumable specialist, just to get the smoke off cooldown faster and the hydro off cooldown faster, because those are very useful for her hit and run play style, because that's exactly how you play the Jutland, hit and run. And with that said, let's take her for a spin. Okay, we're on the map Sea of Fortune. It's domination mode, and there's carriers, and we're in silver ranked. Okay, they've got a Fletcher and a Kirikaze for me to worry about, and they've got a Rune, Los Andes, and a Musashi. And of course, the carrier. Boo hiss. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to head over to A, and with a view to contesting the caps. The Rune Hydro might be a problem. It depends how aggressive he is, and also the battleships could be a problem if they're super aggressive, because the problem with Sea of Fortune is it's usually the most aggressive team that wins, usually. Unless they get themselves into a position where they're too aggressive and push into crossfire. If you can set a crossfire trap for the enemy team, that's great, but you really need everyone on Discord or on comms to make that happen. I am not going to be trying to communicate to people in the chat. I'm a dreadful typer anyway. I'm not the fastest typer on the planet, so I won't be typing away merrily whilst trying to basically pat my head and rub my tummy at the same time, because multitasking of that kind of nature with my laser brain just doesn't work. I just fall apart. So what we're going to do here is our Jaeger's going for C. Now I've avoided the plane detection. I'm going to head back or double back to A, and I'm going to slip round the edge of this island so that I can get between those two islands, because that's a really good spot for a Jutland. Should be able to take full advantage of my hydro and smoke from there to contest the cap and bully the other destroyers, more importantly. I've got a Rupert and a Lepanto that are going to push with me, which is great. So we're going to support the push from the front, as you should in a destroyer. Okay, RPF tells me that there are destroyers in the region. I can see that. And their Kirikaze is on C at the moment, so I've just got the Fletcher to think about for now. Okay, moving into cap. Lepanto's changed course, but the Rupert is still with me. Not too sure why the Lepanto did that, but I think he's looking for angle on the Los Andes. There's a Los Andes. I've got to keep half an eye on him, because he might suddenly decide to push into cap. I don't really want to get caught by him. Okay, I'm not sure what their Kirikaze is doing. The Jaeger's moving away. He's taken a tiny little bit of damage, and he's being lit by the aircraft carrier. I'm guessing the Kirikaze is firing at him and now capping. Okay. Now we've got A. Just going to creep into B very slowly, because there's something right in front of me, and I suspect that's probably their Fletcher. Could be the Kirikaze, but we haven't seen the Fletcher yet. They may well be together. So easy does it. Los Andes is moving away. I was kind of expecting the Rupert to come in with me, if I'm honest. I'm not sure what the Rupert's doing. He's heading north. Okay, somebody tried to torpedo me, but that's fine. I'm going to pop the hydro on, and because I just want to know what's in front of me. Okay, there's the Kirikaze. Going to smoke up and fire. And there's the Fletcher. There's the Fletcher. Yeah, okay, they are together. Okay, our carrier's got the Kitakaze lit. So he's going to get a torpedo hit on him. And then we should be able to finish him off with the AP. Yep. So as soon as they show broadside, switch to the SAP. As soon as they show a reasonable amount of angle, select SAP because you do more damage and you'll get rid of them faster. In a previous video in a Kitakaze I was using HE on a Jaeger, and the reason why was because he was broadside, so I could have used AP on him, but the reason why... Am I going to get this guy with a torp? Am I? Ah, look at that. He managed to slip through the gap. Okay. Well, that's okay. We get another smoke in 12 seconds. This is a good thing about the lightning. Worried about that Musashi and the Los Andes, but I really want this cap. What are the Rupert and the Lepanto doing? I need them in here on the cap with me. Okay, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. Okay, we can use our hydro to detect Fletcher. So I'm just going to move forward and do just that. And then we're going to finish him off. There we go. He says. There we go. Yeah. Alright. But unfortunately the Musashi is pushed up and our Rupert and Lepanto have hung me out to dry. And I was heading north along the 4 line, so down I go. Yeah, okay, so this is a really good example of basically bad battleship play. Those 2 battleships are going after the carrier, okay? The enemy team's pretty bad though. I managed to take out both of their destroyers, so they no longer have any destroyers in the game, and destroyers are what win you caps. They're relying on their Musashi and their Los Andes, who are doing a weird Congo line straight down the 6 line, while our battleships are heading up the 4 line. This is really weird. If I had the time, I'd put some comedy music in. I definitely would. Because this is a joke. Those battleships should have moved into A with me, and then into B, and should be brawling the Musashi and the Los Andes. The Rupert's more than capable of taking out Los Andes with its torpedoes at close range. And the Lepanto, well, he's got his smoke, hasn't he? So he could have sat back at the back of A and supported Rupert and myself. And that would have given the Musashi more to think about. Because a Musashi at close range against a Rupert, if a Rupert player is any sort of player, he should be able to handle a Musashi at close range. It's not a difficult ship to Citadel. It's got the Yamato hull, so it's pretty easy to Citadel under turret number 2. So I'm a bit disappointed with our BBs, to say the least. Okay, the Lepanto and the Rupert are heading down the B and C line, circling towards the enemy carrier, who's the last ship up. This has been a weird match where the enemy team was worse than our own, and our own team was pretty bad. Except for me, of course. I was brilliant, you know. I was expecting a certain behaviour from our battleship players, and I didn't get it. I kind of wish we were all on voice. I would have been yelling at them and using British Anglo-Saxon in area holes to wake them up. Okay, so I'm where I expected to be. He had a bit of a game, didn't he? 10k on the Fletcher and 8k on the Kitakaze. Okay, and yeah. Alright. How do we do on credits? Okay, 40% modifier on, 179,124 credits made. Okay, let's do another one. This is just a warm-up. Okay, this time we're on fault line. There's no carriers. And we've got 2 destroyers aside, 1 cruiser aside, and 3 battleships aside. Now, picking up on my conversation from the previous match, I was talking about the Kitakaze and broadsides. Yes, you use AP on broadsides. My good friend who made that comment about AP and broadsides was absolutely right. You will take your target down faster. You'll do more damage against an enemy destroyer if you shoot him in the broadside with AP. Okay. The Kitakaze doesn't have sap, so they've got to be fairly flat. But yeah, it works. It just works. The reason I was using HE in that particular match against a Jaeger was I was trying to knock out his torpedo launchers. Simple as. The logic was if I destroyed all his torpedo launchers, he wouldn't be able to launch, and his deck guns are pathetic, so that would work too. Because the Kitakaze is a very easy target to hit with torpedoes, unfortunately. She's a great boat, but she suffers from the same problem as the Haragumo to a lesser extent, in that she's easier to torpedo. She is the hardest of the three to torpedo. She is a little bit more maneuverable than both the Haragumo and the Akatsuki, okay? But it's still a problem. It's still something you need to be aware of in the Kitakaze. You haven't got the best rudder shift, and you're quite a slow destroyer as destroyers go. So, in that particular situation, I was trying to do that. Right, anyway, we're going to head in here. We're going to check out C. I'm going to focus on the match now. Got a Russian experimental cruiser. I'm so happy they allow these in ranked. They shouldn't allow experimental ships in ranked. They haven't been properly tested, in my opinion. They're totally overpowered. But here we are. Here we are. Okay, I'm going to head towards the Z46 at B, I think. Unless C is empty. Is C empty? Oh no. Alright, alright. We'll just sit here for now. I'd love to know if there's anyone on C. We still don't know where their destroyers are. So, okay, there's the experimental ship. Okay, I'm lit. And yep, we got a Russian destroyer on the cap.
Smoke screen set.
Now, you don't want to be scared of contesting caps in a Royal Navy destroyer, especially the Jutland, because you do have heals. Okay. Okay, that's the Russian DD dealt with, and our hydro's shown he's launched torps, so we're just going to move into cap and away from the torpedoes. Like so. Should be able to get the cap for the team. Z46 is coming over to join me. I'm just looking for potential torpedo targets, but it looks like the guy in the experimental ship is just going to be camping that corner. And I'd have to get pretty close to using my torpedoes, so we're just going to shell him from here. Oh, he's behind the island. Okay. Okay, so that's the C cap secured. He's still behind that island, isn't he? How annoying. I want him to come out and play, but apparently not. He's very low health. Should be able to get some shells on him from here. But am I going to risk detection? There is a Z46 further up the map, but we've dealt with the Russian DD. Basically, he didn't present for long enough for me to get a kill, so it wasn't worth, in my opinion, it wasn't worth me revealing my position. So I'm just going to move up and spot A for the team. Just going to hit the island so I can do a quick reverse. Do a quick 3-point turn. Got the Monarch over there. Corps look good on the Mizashi, but yeah, we should get a hit. Of course, he's got torpedo protection, but hitting a flood. Okay, that's good. The expected behavior was that he was going to slow down and bows on in and just sit there, bows in, and start shelling our Los Andes and our Chikuma, instead of which he's just merrily floated between the two islands, showing broadside to our battleships, and got away with it. And both our two of our battleships are already dead. Honestly, look after your ships in ranked. Don't commit to a maneuver that's going to get you killed early game. Just don't. Honestly, I see a lot of people play like this, and it's not cool. We lost both of our battleships at A against the Bismarck and the Los Andes and the Z-46. I imagine the Mizashi did some wicked crossfire as well. But I still can't believe he just floated between those two islands and nobody fired at him. Amazing. Okay, so I'm using the edge of this island to try and get fires on the Monarch. And so I'm assuming it's the Z-46 that's got me on RPF. Okay, we've got a fire going on the Monarch. That's good. And we're lit. Our Los Andes is joining me, along with the Chikuma and the Z-46. So we're all balled up at B. Cozy. See if we can get the Z-46 down. Ah, okay. Our Z-46 got their Z-46. That's good. Meanwhile, the Los Andes is sending some hate our way. That was his secondaries. Okay, I think we might end up avoiding these. Yeah, nope. Okay, we definitely can avoid these though. Oh, I'm not too sure what our Los Andes is doing. What a team, right? What a team. So in situations like this, what you want to do is maximize your situation. In other words, try and get the most out of it so that you don't lose a star, because I'm not sure we're going to win this. I'm really not. Another good news about the Jutland is all your guns are on the front except for 2 at the back. You've got the same gun arrangement as the Lightning, so you can have all 6 guns on target most of the time when you're angled, which is nice. Now we just managed to vanish behind the island here. Got the Mizashi moving very slowly up, so we should be able to shell him, see if we can get some fires. Okay, good, we got a fire. Right, Monarch. They are basically pushing hard into B, and I have missed my opportunity to leave. Oh, fired into my smoke. Okay, looks like Mizashi put out that fire. See if we can try and get another one. Too many targets. Target-rich environment, people. Target-rich environment. My team's backed off and is fleeing because we've lost our Los Andes. Okay, yellow time. Yellow time. This is all going horribly wrong. And the main reason being that our battleship stuffed up right at the start and got themselves killed. So we're just going to yellow the Monarch. Do something like that. And let's see if we get lucky. I love the way you can fire the torpedoes individually like that. Look at that. Oh yes. Oh yes. Those individual torps, you can just fire them one at a time. Ping, ping, ping. Very useful for catching people turning in, because you can stack them up like I did and get yourself 3 medals just like that. Funny. Okay, our Z-46 is having a bit of a game. He's just taken out the Los Andes. Good for him. I don't know what our Los Andes was thinking. I don't know what our battleship players were thinking in this match, really. So our Z-46 and our Chikuma 2 have just got a Mizashi to deal with, he says. Just a Mizashi. Nothing much to worry about there, then. We're ahead on points. Let's see how well these 2 clowns do. I'm liking the Z46 player. I think he knows what he's doing. I'm quite impressed with his play in general. He's using his smoke and 5 kilometer hydro well. Jakuma 2, however, is going to have to run. And he's doing the opposite of running. It looks like he's coming in. That is a Musashi, mate. It's got Yamato guns. It's going to kill you if you stay in the area. I guess you can smoke up and you can send torpedo bombers, right? Okay. Z46 manages to get another torpedo into the Musashi, and it looks like he might get to torpedo him again. Possibly 2 this time. Yeah, and he takes him down. Great play from that Z46. What a star. So there you go. This is what you can do when you have 2 competent destroyer players on your team and 3 of the worst battleship players I've ever seen in my entire life, right? Well, maybe not that bad, but pretty bad. So we got a dev strike, we got just a flesh wound, and high caliber. And I YOLO'd it in a Jutland. Yeah, there you go. He gets my support. What a guy. Error Clan, heard of them. I've definitely heard of them. I'm a bit shocked. You're having a bad day, sir, weren't you? You're having an off day. Okay. So Monarch 53,211 torpedoes. That was 33k of that was torpedo damage. That felt so good. 44k on the Musashi, which is nice. That's nice. 8,000 on the DD and 5k on the Los Andes. 111,453 total. 47k with the torpedoes. 24k, 9k fires, and 15k floods. 40% booster on, so just under 250,000 credits made. Not bad. Okay, let's soldier on. Okay, this time we're on Sea of Fortune. It's domination mode again. Sea of Fortune again. Uh-oh. And I've got a Jaeger with me that's on my blacklist. Interesting. It's 2 destroyers aside. They've got a Groningen. I have to be a bit careful about the Groningen because his hydro outranges mine by 2 kilometers. They've got a Fletcher. They've also got a Donskoy, which is a bit of a worry, actually, because the Donskoy's got 12 kilometer radar. It's short burst radar, but it's still a bit of a concern. It's going to get me into trouble, I know it. They got a couple of Pommons and a Valparaiso. Oh, Valparaiso. Yeah, great. So we've got to be a bit careful. A little cautious. Now, by being cautious, let's not hide at the back of the fleet, because I see people being cautious by hiding behind the battleships in a destroyer. Not cool, guys. You're supposed to be the eyes of the team, so you're supposed to be at the front, spotting. There are ways you can bait radar. There's ways you can make radar players use their radar, and then you can basically just camp behind an island and there's nothing they can do. They can't shoot you. What are they going to do? Yeah? So, bait and hide, or bait and run are my options on radar cruisers, okay? What you don't want to do is find yourself within short range of a radar cruiser in the open. It's a bit like a rabbit getting caught on a highway in the headlights of a truck, right? It's not going to end well, because guess who's the rabbit? Right. Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so we don't know where any of their ships are. Okay, there's the radar cruiser. Okay, that's good news. That's good news. He's out of range of us, and he's way over at AB, which is good. I feel for the Jaeger, but we should be okay. I'll be fine. So I'm moving into C. Something's on RPF. That could be the Groningen. So I'm moving slightly away because he's got 5 kilometer. No, it's the Fletcher. 5 kilometer hydro, so I can escape it if I need to. We can get some good shots into the Fletcher. Notice how I'm angled away. Makes me hard to hit. And I've got the Neptune with me. Why isn't the Neptune firing? Oh, now he fires. Now he fires. We had this guy lit for ages. I guess he was in a bad position. He smoked up in a really weird spot. I guess that guy's never played a Neptune before, or if he has, he hasn't played it very many times. Because that was kind of a rookie mistake. He should have come in with me, really, and then he'd have got to kill the destroyer, and then he could use his smoke to disengage. But never mind. Problem with the Neptune and the Minotaur is they're made of paper. So there are a couple of battleships in the area. So in his defense, he might have got himself citadeled if he'd been a little too aggressive. But I think we could have got that destroyer together if he'd joined in earlier or come in closer to me. Maybe hug the corner of the island on my left rather than going wide.
Smoke generator activated.
Okay, so we've got this Valparaiso to deal with. My torps look good, to be honest. Those torps look like they're good for the battleship. I think he's going to get clonked by those. That's a lovely torpedo wall. And I'm just trying to set fires, because if I can set a fire, he might put it out and then a flood. Oh, we're going to hit him with 3 of those. There you go. And suddenly he's down to 11k health. And on the ropes. And suddenly he's vanished. Damn. Of course he has. Fletcher smoke. Kind of annoying, if I'm honest. So we're going to move out of our smoke and see if we can hook up with the Fletcher again. Or the battleship, the Valparaiso. Okay, he's escaping, running the other way. He hasn't healed yet, which I find weird. And we put a fire on him, which probably be perma, because I suspect he... Oh no, we didn't get any floods on him. So that's not a perma fire. Sad face. Yeah, it's a shame I didn't get any floods with the torpedoes, because he would have probably repaired those and then we could have got perma fires on him. RNG is not necessarily your friend. There's a Groningen. He's in a very, very aggressive position. I did get an incapacitation on him, and it looks like he repaired that incapacitation. And so, yeah, that was a perma fire after all. And he didn't have any heals in his back pocket? Weird. Anyway, we got him. I shouldn't complain, should I? But notice we don't have any caps. The enemy team's being super aggressive. And they are about to win. The enemy is about to win, in my best British voice. Yes. Drink tea. Carry on. Okay, there's the Groningen. Again, we got to be a little bit careful with this guy. He outguns us, technically. But we get some free shots into him, because he wasn't aware of our situation. And he's out of hydro range, so we can smoke up and then carry on. I'm hoping my torps will get him.
Problem solved, sir.
Yeah.
Smoke screen
Yeah. He was saving his hydro for me. Now, that's the thing about the Groningen. He thought, oh, he's not in range of my hydro. So he didn't bother.
Proceed and capture that area.
He didn't think for a second, wait a second, this guy might have laid torps. I should hydro. Because you should really use hydro to spot torps as well as ships, right? So he should have used his hydro sooner. My bonus there. I still don't know how I killed that battleship, to be honest with you. That thing's supposed to be unsinkable. But they said that about the Titanic, didn't they? And that didn't end well. Okay. We're going to go into sea now. We need caps. The enemy team wins in 2 minutes. Because we're not contesting. I guess that's my job, right? I'm supposed to somehow go around and capture all the caps. What about the Jaeger? Where is our Jaeger? Has anyone seen our Jaeger? Oh yeah, he's with the John Bart. Okay. Weird. Yes, hide behind that John Bart for all you're worth, mate. Fletcher's low. Try there. Don't think I gave him enough lead. And the Potman gets in with his secondaries. Okay. They win in 3 minutes. Okay, there's another Potman above me. Okay, we got the cap. That's good. Now we need to go and get the A and B cap. Okay, so the enemy team wins in 3.5 minutes, we win in 14. You see how important caps are. Okay, Jean Bart took out the Pommern, Pommern took out the Jean Bart. Fair trade. They're down to 2 ships, which is good news. The bad news is one of them's a radar cruiser. And we have a 4-ship, we have a 2-ship advantage. We have a 1-ship advantage. Oh my god. Okay, so the Pommern took out our Pommern. Damn. That's unfortunate. Okay, that is unfortunate. And our Rupert is now taking on their Pommern. Similar health pool, so you'd like to think that should go well for our Rupert, right? Although their Pommern seems to be pretty good, actually. But I'm much more interested in buying time for the team. Jaeger is blocking cap, which is great. Jaeger's actually doing something useful. There's hope. There's hope. And we're getting some shells and torpedoes on the Donsky. Excellent. Right, I'm just going to move into cap. He's fired his radar, but you see, this is another situation where the radar isn't going to do him a lot of good. He's got me on hydro as well. The Pommern is behind islands, so I'm partially obscured target, and he's much more interested in the Rupert. He's brawling right now, so Donsky is unsupported. Although he does take out the Jaeger. The Jaeger should have run, really. The Jaeger should have run because he was in plain view. I am not in plain view. I had an island between me and the Donsky, so I was perfectly okay to move into cap like I've just done. Donsky torps. Very short range. In case I was going for him, but no, I'm not suicidal, mate. I just want the cap so we can win. You've got a substantial point advantage on us. 862 to our 308. So caps suddenly become the most important thing in the game. Our Rupert is chasing their Pommern. I'm trying to distance myself from the radar cruiser. There he is. Not sure what he's doing. And now I have a Pommern and a Donsky to deal with, and I am solo warrioring. But I do have all the caps. So they need to do something about that. You need to come at me, bruh. Okay. Still 9 minutes in this match. We win in 5. And if they don't get a cap, we win. They need 2 caps, really, if they want to turn this round. They could win with 1, I guess, if they were quick about it. Okay, RPF is showing me the position of the Russian radar cruiser. I assume he's going to move into cap. He should swing it round that island in front of me, just checking where the Pommern is in relation to him. It's the radar cruiser we need to get, though. He is the big problem here. He's the one that's going to end up sinking us. There he is. Okay, he's healed a bit.
Generator activated.
Can't quite get him.
Problem solved, sir.
Got a fire on him though, that's good. And there's the radar.
Smoke screen set. Torpedoes direct front.
Let's see if we can split the difference on those. Yep.
Fire.
Our team has left me in a ridiculous situation here.
Critical engine damage.
Switching to sap. Should get him. Should get him.
Main turret critically damaged. Main turret
Damn it. He's burning out. He's burning out.
solved, sir.
Do we get him?
Critical engine damage.
Ah. Common got us. Yeah. Okay. Should have got that cruiser, really. Not sure why we didn't. He was burning out. But we get to keep our star. And it was a pretty exciting match. I think basically their battleship was better than everyone. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. Well played. Well played. Yeah. Balanced matchmaking there. Don't you love being on Team Moron? Okay, so Valparaiso, 54k damage and a sinking. Got the Groningen, 19k. Pretty cool. 23k on the Donskoy. And I reckon if I'd survived a few more seconds from the secondary fire from the Pommern, that would have been a dead Donski, to be or dead donkey. 354,000 credits made. Pretty fun match, actually. I quite enjoyed that, but I think our Jaeger was kind of shit. And I wasn't too impressed with the other players either. The Neptune was dreadful. Anyhow, that's the Jutland in the ship request. I hope you enjoyed those games as much as I did playing them. And if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Thank you.